Hi everybody, this is Nancy from NatureWorks, and I have to tell you a story. I got up early this morning to meet the crew, and it was cold outside, and I realized I hadn't even taken my air conditioner out of the window yet because last week it was so hot. But all of a sudden I felt like it's bulb planting season. It was like something snapped inside of me. So I came in and I started pulling bulbs off the shelves for my garden. I had dug 24 holes yesterday for plants and bulbs, and I'm like, I need to get my bulbs before they're all gone. So I came in and I was just so happy to start pulling bulbs for my own gardens because I've been laying them out for my customers' gardens forever. And we have a lot of really beautiful bulbs right now. We have a bunch of different narcissus, all different kinds, from the really cool Rip Van Winkle to the butterfly narcissus like Cassata, to the late blooming pheasant eye, and the very, very late cheerfulness. We have alliums galore, including this ginormous Allium schubertii. Each flower is this big on a short plant. You can see I've been gardening. The giant Globemaster alliums, which are the longest blooming and the largest ones. And we have Nectar circodium, which is this crazy Mediterranean garlic that blooms at the same time as the Weigela blooms. Totally deer-proof, totally rodent-proof. So we have tons of cool bulbs that you can add. Of course, we put bulb fertilizer in. And then if we're using any bulbs that we're worried about, deer, voles, woodchucks, we always add the Repellex systemic. So for example, I insisted that we buy King's Blood tulips. And if you look back at my pictures of my vegetable garden last year, I put these giant red King's Blood tulips in all of my raised beds. And I also add Negrita tulips to my raised beds. So I like to put tulips in my vegetable beds because before the vegetables are planted, the tulips are up and blooming, and they bloom for a really long time. So if you have to plant tulips in an area where you're worried about deer or voles, you would add Repellex systemic, which is an all-natural product which makes the bulbs taste like hot pepper. So you simply sprinkle a little in the holes, and then you sprinkle it again when the foliage emerges in the spring. I was just setting up a big garden plan with my 6 guys today on my crew, and they were planting a lot of daffodils, but then they were planting a few other bulbs, and I said, no, not everything needs the Repellex systemic, just the ones that we would be worried about, because of course this was in a woodland garden. So those, so we have a lot of cool tulips. We have tons of species tulips, little tiny ones that don't even look like tulip bulbs. They're perennial, they spread, they naturalize, and I wrote all the descriptions for the bulbs on the website. So I'm like totally into the bulbs more than I ever have been because I was writing about them. So if you're not sure if it blooms early or late, or just what it does, or how hardy it is, or how much it spreads, they're on the website now, and you can order the bulbs on the website, and we will have them here ready for you to pick up. So it's really cool. These are Camasias. The reason I love Camasia, and I plant a lot of Camasias, is my lower backyard is quite wet. I have heavy clay soil. These are native bulbs, and they'll grow in wet. Not too much else will. And then as we move across here, we get into all these cool, smaller bulbs that are called, quote unquote, minor bulbs, but they're not minor in importance because a lot of them bloom very early, and they're there for the very early flying native pollinators. For example, Chonodoxas in pink and blue, and that's Glory of the Snow. Pushkinia, which is one of the bluest bulbs I've ever seen. Winter aconite, and when you have somebody new on the crew, they're like, that's a bulb? No, that's not a bulb, that's a corm. We have grape hyacinths. We have something called Iphion, which is actually a really interesting, unusual bulb. Anemones. Oh my God, the windflowers spread so beautifully. And then we have lots of different grape hyacinths. And just now a client was in and she was picking out salmon hyacinths. And I said, you know what these look really good with, this color? These salmon hyacinths look good with the blue grape hyacinths around them. I mean, it's just amazing. This is Valerie Finis, and this one's called Peppermint, which is the sky blue with a white tip. So I love to combine them. When you read the descriptions on the website, you'll know that I've been putting in my timing, so I talk about succession with bulbs, and it's important that you understand when things bloom, because a lot of these bulb boxes are basically written for the whole country, and we're talking about Connecticut here. You know I'm a stickler for succession of bloom. Another one that's completely deer resistant that I just used in this woodland garden is leucojum. This looks like a snowdrop. It's totally not. It's much taller. Blooms in May at the same time as the tulips. It looks like a giant snowdrop. Deer resistant, vole resistant, gray cut flower. One of the most underrated bulbs I've ever grown. And then of course every garden needs snowdrops and every garden needs winter aconite. Those are the two that come out first. And we have three kinds of snowdrops this year. We have this Nivalis, which is the one we've always carried. We have Roronoi, which is a little bit later with much broader leaves, a little bit bigger. And then we have the double snowdrops, which are just stunning. So bulbs are here. They're going fast. Everybody that walks in here buys bulbs, and the crews pick bulbs for their clients all the time. But now is the time, finally. It's cooling off, things are starting to go down. Get your bulbs in the ground during the month of November. They're all up on the website, and I can't wait to see what your spring garden looks like. This is Nancy at NatureWorks saying, see you soon. Bye-bye.